Hello and welcome to Running on Pixie Dust, my podcast and YouTube series. Every time I say welcome or I go to record this intro, I'm like, welcome to the Eras Tour. Anyways, I'm your host, Annika, and welcome to episode 40. I did a little thing. I ran this small town race, you might have heard of it, called the Chicago Marathon, and we're going to talk about it. If you're new here, I started this podcast back in 2022 to align with my Dopey Challenge 2023 training, which if you don't know what the Dopey Challenge is, that is a challenge for crazy people where here at Walt Disney World, runDisney has a race weekend where there's a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, and a marathon in 4 consecutive days. And if you run all 4, you complete the Dopey Challenge. So it's for crazy people. It's me. Hi, I'm crazy. But the Chicago Marathon was my first standalone marathon outside of doing the Dopey Challenge. I've now completed the Dopey Challenge 3 times and I completed 3 marathons. So here we are post-Chicago, now having run 4 marathons, which is kind of crazy. Disclaimer, I am not a coach. I am literally just sharing my personal thoughts and experiences and opinions for fun, really for fun. And I just love to yap about running. So please like and subscribe, leave a review, rate 5 stars, follow me on socials, the plugs, But anyway, let's get into it. We're going to talk about the Chicago Marathon in this episode. Starting off with my highs and my lows. So highs, Chicago was so fun. I had an absolute great weekend. I traveled with my besties, Becca, Dean, and Alex, and we also had other friends traveling as well. And it was really great to just have a larger group to meet up with, and we all had similar race experiences, and it really filled my cup to have such a community. Not only online and the support and all of that was amazing, but to have people be there with you and to go through the motions of it all with you, that's just something so special. So the trip in itself was a total high. My next high, oh my goodness. I'm so excited to share that I am officially partnering with Runna. Runna is the running app that gives you a personalized training plan tailored to your goals. And to be totally transparent, I am absolutely using it alongside my coach. I have been working with my coach for a couple of years now, and I really appreciate her input. And honestly, I'm the type of person that is more is more. I love tracking all the running and the workout data and being part of the communities. I love Strava. I have Strava Premium, and I like all the different stats and the AI analytics that it comes with, and the planning, the groups, the events. I use Peloton workouts if I'm looking for strength workouts. I love creating workouts in Garmin. I am the type of person that more is more. So I will be using it alongside my coach, and I think it's such a great way to stay structured and motivated and to actually visualize your training. And it also has countdowns to your races, which I thought was so fun, and little tips and tricks for every single day of your workouts, which is really nice. And I think I would highly recommend Runna to someone maybe just starting out with running, not knowing what kind of plan to use. You can literally start out as someone who's I want to train for my first 5K, and it will come up with a plan for you. But even if you have been running for a while, I have several friends who have not used coaches and have been self-coaching, who have found so much success in Runna, and they're people who are much faster runners than I am and who do way more intricate workouts as well. So I think literally they cover every type of runner. If you want to try it out, no strings attached, use code Annika2 for your first 2 weeks free. And I will link my affiliate link in the descriptions. I actually just added in today to the Wine and Dine half marathon race that I will be running this weekend. All my runDisney folks. The season's almost here. Although technically it already kicked off with Disneyland. But for East Coast races, Wine and Dine. Let's go. Okay, so those were my highs. Moving on to my lows. If you follow me on social media, you already know that like the race did not go how I had hoped. And if you were tracking, like I'm sure you obviously saw like the drop off immediately. I literally talked with my mom, like giving her my full recap. And she was like, yeah, I saw the drop off when you started slowing down. I'm like, yeah. But I'm trying not to be too hard on myself because I literally got so sick right before, like during taper, right before the race. And while I was able to kind of heal for race weekend, it's just all of those missed workouts from not only being sick, but mind you, I had my calf strain injury like all summer that I've dealt with for this entire training vlog, also causing me to have to skip runs and like take rest days and like let my body heal. It just is what it is. I had a lot of travel going on this summer as well. And, you know, all of that combined, I absolutely felt it out there on the course. Like, you really cannot cheat running. If you miss the runs, like, your fitness just, like, won't be there. And, you know, I've been there where I had the most perfect training block ever and I felt really good. And I still had that happen during a race. So yeah, it's so tough. Like, it really bruised my ego, and I'm still being a little bit of a baby about it, but yeah. But I mean, for that to be the low, I think is still a win. Like, we completed the race. I'm a world major marathoner, for crying out loud. Like, yeah, I'm just feeling the feelings right now, still. I posted basically everything almost in real time. So if you're interested, give me a follow on socials at Annika's Paintbrush on Instagram and at Annika Hudak on TikTok. I love getting silly goofy over there. Okay, without further ado, let's recap Chicago. Chicago. But that's in the Victorious Trina song version, obviously. Anyways, okay, we got there early. We got there on Wednesday. The race wasn't until Sunday. And I think that is my favorite way to go about really any race weekend, is just to be there and be prepared. Granted, I am spoiled because I do live in Orlando, which is local to the runDisney races, which are the races I run most frequently and every year. And I have that advantage. So traveling for races is definitely not my strong suit. And it's a lot more preparation because I'm not in my own house, or I'm not like down the street from where I live if I'm like staying on property or something like that. So it's always more stressful. But we got there early. We wanted to get acclimated. Like, we wanted to see the city. We wanted to sightsee, get all our walking in, and make sure we had rested legs for race day. So we got in Wednesday night, and I had my first Chicago pizza, which it was tavern style, not deep dish, but it was still amazing. It was like a hot honey pepperoni, thin crust. It was ginormous, and I ended up taking a portion of it back to our hotel and keeping it in our fridge, and I ended up eating that in bed post-marathon, which was chef's kiss. Best game plan ever. But Thursday morning, which was Expo Day, was the first day of the Expo, and as a runDisney gal, I love rope dropping an Expo, okay? I will be there. So the Expo actually didn't start until I think around 11 a.m., so we did have an open morning, and I really wanted to go see the Sky Deck Chicago, which is an immersive Chicago experience from street to sky, Willis Tower, Chicago. But that was really fun. You actually overlook the entire city, and they have like the glass box that you step into, and you are like looking down, and you're just like floating a million stories in the sky. I love heights. I am not afraid of heights. So for me, that's a really fun, cool experience. But for anyone who is afraid of heights, probably not an activity for you. But it's okay. Everyone was strong. Okay, Expo time. I think the jitters are kind of starting to kick in. It was so surreal being in Chicago, to be honest, because even like after the Expo and being there, it was like, oh yeah, we're still running a marathon on Sunday. Like, this is uncharted territory for me because this is my first standalone marathon and first world major marathon, and there's a lot of learning that goes with that. But I was traveling with Becca and Dean, and Becca had just run the Tokyo Marathon back in the spring, so this was her second world marathon, and she definitely like knew what to expect, which, you know, you think you can visualize like what to expect, but then going through it, it's just a whole different ball game. So Expo Day, oh my god. I thought I knew Expo crazy from Walt Disney World Marathon weekend, but no. There's 53,000 or 54, I don't know, something like that. 54,000 runners running the Chicago Marathon. 54,000. That is so many people. You would have thought they were all there right when we got to the expo too. But it was really chaotic. It was, I don't know. Like security was weird, and it just like, it felt like, what's the procedure? Where do I go? Like it just kind of was a little unclear, but we made it. We scan our QR codes to go in, and I think they only let you in like if you were a runner or like picking up your bib. But once you actually like scanned in your your check-in pass, then you were designated a number, and you go to that number to pick up your bib, which I thought that was actually pretty cool. Like once we got in, then that portion of bib pickup felt really organized and easy, and I actually really liked that. Like I think there was like one person in front of me by the time like I got into bib pickup area, and yeah, so that was cool. But you just like scan your QR code, and it's just like quick and easy. They like scan your bib and then hand it over. So that was fun. It was like all of the different booths. That was really chaotic. This expo was huge. I think I had seen someone post that, oh, the Chicago Marathon Expo, like it's small, or maybe they were trying to say that it's smaller than other world major expos, but I don't know what kind of small we're talking about here, because that was huge. Huge. Gigantic, okay? Giant expo. And very overwhelming. Granted, we were there still pretty early. We didn't get there quite as early as we had hoped, and we had to wait in like the security line and the scanning line for a while, but still relatively early. And what I didn't know is, I mean, I did know this. I do know better. I knew better. I should have been carb loading and hydrating for the expo, because what an experience that was. Nike, who was a sponsor for the race, they had a giant merch kind of booth taking up a big chunk of the expo, and then there were like hundreds of booths in this center. It was just like you wanted to start on one side, and then something would catch your eye on like the second rows in, and then you kind of like zigzag, but then you would just keep going back and forth. And so it was just a lot of walking, a lot of people, a lot of lines. There were lines for everything. You wanted a picture in front of, and anywhere, line. You wanted to get this freebie, line. You want to just look at the merch that they have, line. And that was a lot. Like it took a lot of energy. Alex and I were both so hangry after being there for hours. I think we spent literally 3 hours just like walking around this expo, and we had to stop and like get a slice of pizza. But thankfully they had food like in the back there, but we didn't even see it the first time because we didn't know it was back there. There was just so much to see and do. And we all ended up like splitting off and like going different ways. And then we were like, oh, well, did you see this? Like, I got this. It's like, no, I didn't even know what I didn't know. And then there was like the free Bank of America poster that I should have known for the Chicago Marathon race. And I didn't even know it was there. So I had to ask my friend to go pick it up when she went to the expo the next day, because I was like, I completely missed that. I had no idea it was there. And it's just like, it was so overwhelming. And maybe that was on me. I should have like researched a little bit more, like who was going to be there, and like research like what freebies there were and or things that I should look out for. I don't know. Maybe I could have prepared better for that, but my gosh. I did go to the Team Salute booth. So if you didn't know, I fundraised for Team Salute for my charity bib for the race. And so I got to check in at the booth and say hello to some of the people that I've been communicating with since signing up for this race, which was nice. And I got a hat and like a cute, like some candies and like some freebies and stuff, which was nice. And Nike had some fun signage for pictures, but oh my God. I was literally like, let's get out of here. I can't do this. Like, I'm just over it. And it was a lot. Like, that was the activity for the day. Like, that was what we were there to do, which is, I think, how Expo Days should be. Like, if you're interested in being involved and seeing what there is, like, that needs to be the activity for the day. My gosh. So we left, went back to our hotel, and I don't even think I went back up to the hotel because I really wanted to go to the Bandit pop-up. Bandit Running, which they sell like running clothes and are famous for like the pocket tank that you can put your gels in the back of the tank. They were having a pop-up, but it was like a little bit more north of like where we were and we were staying. So we like split up, and half of us went back to the room, and then Becca came with me to the Bandit pop-up, and I like handed over all my bags of crap so that they could take it back to the room. But we hithered all the way over to Bandit and waited in that line for like probably 45 minutes. If you do follow them, you know that they were posting about their line. My gosh, was their line. But I was really excited about their Chicago Marathon drop, and I ended up racing in the top, so I am glad that I went, and I am glad I went on that first day, as opposed to waiting and, like, going Friday morning or something. So that was a whole activity, and then I went to dinner straight from there. We went to Duck Duck Go, which was really good, and was recommended to me from one of my coworkers. It was, like, dim sum, and I had really good green beans, like, really good. And at this point, we're trying to eat. We're trying to eat everything and take in all the carbs and calories. Like, please, thank you. So that was Expo Day. Friday, we designated for, like, exploring and doing, like, Chicago things to get all of the walking out of our system. We had Stan's Donuts. We went to La Colombe. We went to Lululemon because they had special Chicago items and like running items. They had a hat that was like Chicago 25, and they had like a zip up scuba that had embroidered Chicago on it, which was really cute. I was obsessed, and I did take home the scuba and the hat. We went to this place called Alice in Wonder Hats. They personalize your hats there, so you pick out like one of their Chicago hats. They had like a lot of different styles, but you can pick out these patches, and then they'll like press them onto the hat for you, which was really fun. Alex and I had been sending TikToks about it for like months, so like we knew we were going here, we knew we were getting a hat, and they had a 26.2 patch, which was so cute. I really liked it, and it was a really expensive hat because I got like 5 patches or something, but it just like it looked so cute, and like we knew we were gonna do that, so I had to do that. We also went to the Harry Potter store. We popped into the Starbucks Reserve. We didn't get anything because we were kind of on like a time crunch. We were just kind of rolling through some stuff. But that afternoon, I was able to go to the Runna headquarters for race weekend, which was really cool. And they had a coaching section with Anya Culling. And so if you don't follow Anya, I think she's like a.culling on Instagram. But she is a Runna coach. But I actually been following her like long before she started coaching with Runna and before Runna became integrated with Strava and all of that. She became pretty well known since she started out as like a 4:29 marathoner, like her first marathon, and now she runs like 2:30 marathons or something like crazy. And that is an amazing jump, and she was super invested in running and like super consistent, and basically has been vocalizing her story and now coaches for running and all of that. So I just think that she's so inspiring, and I just love her. And so she was doing a coaching event at the Runna headquarters, so I was like, sign me up for that. And it was really cool. I was able to like ask her a couple questions since the format was Q&A. So everyone who was there got to take a turn like sitting up there with her, basically like interview style, and could ask like any kind of couple questions that they wanted about their own personal training or like marathons in general. It ranged from people doing their like 10th marathon for people doing their first marathon. And it was really insightful to kind of hear some of the advice and feedback that she had. So I actually recorded my question section, and I'm going to include it in my Chicago Marathon weekend vlog, which I did vlog all weekend as well. I vlogged on my actual vlog camera, and I vlogged a little bit on TikTok, but your girl was contenting all weekend. She was clocked in. But I thought that was really special and definitely worth my time, and I'm so glad I got to meet her. Rana was also doing a personalized like clothing items and like race top little booth. So for people who wanted to put their names on their tops, or they also had Team Rana patches and Chicago Marathon and 26.2. So I went and got my Bandit racing top that I'd actually just picked up, and I had them put 26.2 in Chicago on the back, and it has like the 4 stars. It's so cute. So I'm glad I did that, and that was good. And we split up again like with the group for that night. I think most of us went to go see Tron, and Alex and I, we don't do 3D or super motion sick like movies, and we did hear from our friends how it's very motion-y kind of movie, and we were like, we're good, fam. I heard it was good though. And so Alex and I wanted to do pizza because like, hello, we got to do some deep dish pizza. We're carb loading. I mean, Alex was running the 5K. She was not running the marathon, so she didn't need a carb load, but she was like, I'm in. And I was definitely trying to carb load. So we tried to go to this place called Pequod's Pizza, and we traveled all the way there. It is like off the beaten path. Like, it is not close. Like, we took like a 10-minute walk to the CTA, which is the public transportation in Chicago, and we took whatever it is, the red line or whatever, and then walked another like 15 minutes from the station to the actual pizza place. But we were idiots. We went on a Friday night at dinner time. We got there at like 5:30 p.m. We did not have a reservation because we were stupid. And we were like, can we do 2 people? And they were like, it's going to be 3 hours. Oh, 3 hours. Okay. So we had done this journey to get there. We weren't going to sit there for 3 hours waiting, and we were also starving. So I ended up just calling us an Uber, first of all, because I was like, I'm over it. I'm exhausted. Like, we had been doing so much walking and exploring, and it's just like, I'm done. Pick me up. Mom, can you come pick me up? And I ordered Pequod's on Uber Eats, and Uber Eats, I think, was going to take an hour and a half. So I was like, slay. Called the Uber, went back to the hotel. The Uber Eats, ordered it, and in an hour and a half, we had deep dish pizza at our hotel. Which, honestly, after all of that, it might have still been worth it. Like, that pizza was really good. Like, we added pepperoni to it. It was, like, thick, deep dish. It wasn't too much sauce. Like, I really enjoyed it. And so did Alex. So neither one of us are really like deep dish pizza girlies, but you know, when in Rome. So obviously had to try that. And it was recommended to me, like that specific pizza place. So it was really good though. We had to earn it. Saturday, we did the Abbott Chicago 5K, and we were going to all utilize that as kind of like our shakeout run. Me, Alex, Becca, Dean, Jackie, Brittany, and Shannon all ran the race together, which was really fun. And I think we had talked about whether or not we were going to do different, like what kind of shakeout run we were going to do. We definitely knew that we wanted to do one, but we want to do the actual like sanctioned 5K race or join like a Rana shakeout, a Lulu shakeout, a Nike shakeout. Like those were happening all over the place. Like Endorphins was doing one, like starting even as early as Thursday. So I don't know. We all were just like, let's do the 5K and let's do it all together and just like have matching outfits and be cute and all that and like get a medal at the end. So I am glad that we did that. That was very fun. Immediately following that, though, we had the Capital One Cafe, like right across the street from where we were staying. We stayed at Palmer House, which is a Hilton hotel, and if you're a Capital One card member, everything was 50% off at the cafe. So it was like $3 lattes, which, like, in this economy in downtown Chicago, that's like basically free. So we went to Capital One Cafe like every day, and that was yummy. But we all went there after, and then I was like rushing off to do an escape massage. So AESCAPE, escape. And it's a robot massage. You guys, they reached out to me probably the week before the trip, and they were like, come get a robot massage. And I was like, well, yeah, okay. And there was an Equinox gym actually like right down the street from our hotel, and they actually had the escape machine there. So it was such an interesting experience. I am glad I did it because I always get, or all 3 times, actually not all 3 times, maybe the last 2 times I've gotten a massage the day before the marathon, just like a very light massage, like following like either, well, I've only done dopey, so following not a shakeout run, but following the half marathon on Saturday before the marathon race day on Sunday. So got my little massage, my robot massage. It was really cool. I posted a TikTok about it. Yeah, it was good. We tried to do brunch at this place called Sugary, which is like super Instagrammable, and they had like pumpkin spice lattes in pumpkins, that whole thing. But I had made a reservation through Google, and apparently they don't take reservations, and so our reservation actually didn't exist because they just don't communicate with Google anymore. And I guess Google didn't get the memo. So we didn't actually have a reservation. So that was frustrating. And we weren't going to wait like hours in this line. It's like a small place in downtown Chicago, like right across the street from the Bean. And I mean, it looked fun and fine, but like we weren't going to wait forever. Plus, like, we're hungry. So that was a bummer that didn't work out. So note to self, don't make reservations through Google because sometimes the restaurants don't even know that that's happening. Yeah. So we found a different place to go. We went to London House for a rooftop brunch because that's like what we could get into pretty quickly. It's a Saturday. It was literally like lunchtime at this point. Yeah. So anyways, we went to the Bean to take pictures on the way. So got that out of the way. I flicked the Bean. I did it. Brunch was fine. We got some tots, more carb loading. Basically at this point, we are just eating and hydrating, like, and then repeat. I'm eating as much as I can. We ended up going to Pizzeria Portofino for dinner, which was right on the river, which was nice. And all of us were really tired, and we weren't even sure that we wanted to do this walk to this restaurant because it was like, what, a 15-minute walk or something like that. And I'm just like, no more time on feet. Because my feet and hips and legs, they were being little wimps. Like, I don't know if it was maybe the time off in my taper where I was very much off my feet because I was sick and I was like skipping training runs and all of that. But my legs were not holding up. Like, they were hurting. And I let everyone know every 5 minutes. Sorry, love you. But I don't know what it was. Like, I have done runDisney weekends where I'm running like a half marathon and then I'm doing like the park all day and my legs didn't even hurt as bad after that. Like, I don't know what it was. I really don't. But they just weren't holding up like they used to. So, anyways, went to dinner. Had an interesting experience with the wait staff, but the food was good. I got some spaghetti, carb loading. We all split some garlic bread. I drank my electrolytes, like, fun and dandy. And we went at, like, 4 p.m.? early dinner. And then went back to the hotel and went to bed. Well, before that, we did the flat lays and all of that and the TikToks and all that good stuff. And then we went to bed. So every night I was trying to be really good about foam rolling. I brought my foam roller, and Becca and I both brought our compression boots. We were using those like almost every day, I think, like every night basically, and taking recovery seriously. I think I even slept in compression socks on Saturday night because I was just trying to like get my legs rested and ready to go for marathon day. Okay, we're finally here. Marathon day. We did it. We made it. It's Sunday. It's race day. We woke up at like 5-ish to be ready to leave by 6 a.m. We wanted to make sure we had enough time to go do gear check, to do bathrooms, to get to our corral, to warm up, to like be there. So we kept weighing, like, is it better to just wait at our hotel and go like right before the corrals close, or like, and not do the bathroom and do gear check, like just stay at the hotel, because our hotel was literally like down the street from the race start from Grant Park. And we just kept going back and forth. It's like, ugh, but what if we get stuck in a security line? And like, I don't know. We were just kind of too stressed about it. And all of us are like very much used to runDisney, where you have to be there hours early anyway, in the middle of the night, basically, because those races start at 5 a.m. So I think we were kind of just like, our routine was like, let's get there early. And if like we have to wait around, like that's okay. Looking back, would I have done anything different? I don't know. I'm still on the fence, because if we weren't doing gear check, and if I had used the bathroom at the hotel like right before going, like honestly, I feel like it probably would have been okay. Like I think it would have been fine either way, truthfully. But I'm so glad that we were there early. We took pictures. We all got to like hang out together, like with the larger group, like all of us runners, because we were all in different corrals. So I think that was just like good quality time too, because as we were standing in line for the porta potties, which did take like at least 45 minutes, which everyone says it's going to take an hour, and like they're not lying. It takes time. And yeah, I think that was like good time together for all of us to just kind of like get our minds off it a little bit and like have the support of each other. So yeah, I was in Corral J, wave 2. So I didn't start until 8:26 a.m., which is pretty late. Like even my training runs here in Florida, like we usually start 6 or 7 latest. Like latest, I think we start at 7:30, like when it's winter time, and if we're tired, I don't know. Like we don't start that late. So that already was, I knew going into it was going to be an adjustment. Like the sun's going to be up before you even start running, which was so crazy to me, because runDisney could never. Already, like at the start of the race, like I knew it wasn't it. Like when you know, you know. And I've had enough races now, and I've done 3 marathons. I've done many, many half marathons, many 10Ks, many 5. Like when you know, you know. Like every single race that I have PR'd and performed how I was expecting to, how I had trained to, and reaching my A goal, I knew mile 1. I knew. Like, you just know. And I don't know, maybe that isn't as common for other people, but like I know when I know. And for races that didn't go well, I knew then too. Like I think I was talking about this with a couple of my friends as well, and it's like, well, have you ever bonked before? Like, have you ever hit the wall so hard before? I'm like, yes, this was not the first time. It doesn't get any easier, so this is still a big, like, bruise to the ego. But my first marathon was god-awful. Granted, I was like self-coached. It was my first marathon. I had no idea what to expect. I think there was so much I learned with that. So like, yeah, okay, fine. But also for the half marathon, if listeners who have been listening, you guys know that I did a Portland half marathon in July, like what, last year? Was that last year? Oh my God. And I trained really hard for that, and I was going for a specific time goal, and then I completely blew up and bonked for that race too, halfway through. And it happens. It happens. And it sucks. It sucks. because you trained so hard for this. You've made so many sacrifices for it. You have so many people rooting for you and like watching you. And I think it's easy to be hard on yourself as well and hold yourself to a certain standard and like keep moving the goalpost. But yeah, knew it wasn't my day. I went into the weekend really wanting to try for the 4:15 time. So that's 4 hours and 15 minutes. My backup goal would be to just PR. So I ran a 4:26 in January at Dopey, which was 4 hours and 26 minutes. And my C goal, so A, B, C goals. So my C goal would be to just finish the race. We got the C goal. You know, sometimes you get the C goal. And I will always have finished the race, I think, as my C goal forever. Because, I mean, sometimes it gets to that point. You get to survival mode. And can we finish this race? I don't know. Race conditions also went from green to yellow mid-race due to, I'm assuming, the heat, which I wouldn't even consider it that hot as a Floridian. However, it was hot enough for it to impact my performance and many other runners' performances as well. And considering how late we start, like Corral J, like I didn't start till like 8:30. Like, I'm sure for people who started at like 7:45, even 8 o'clock, like that 30-minute and like 45-minute advantage, that makes a difference. It makes a big difference. So, I mean, there's not much I could do about that. It is what it is, you know? So, I did like a really big write-up for my coach, and I have that pulled up here. And basically, I felt really good going into the race. Like I wasn't actually that nervous. I was kind of just gonna like let what needs to happen. And I knew that it could go, you know, A, B, or C goal. Maybe I could have gotten the A goal. Like I don't know. I don't know if my fitness was there. It was just kind of hard to say. And all these other conditions that like go into it. But I was fueled. I was hydrated. I was mostly rested, and my calf felt really strong. I was really nervous about my calf and like if it was going to hold up, but like it did. And those of you who've been listening for a while, you guys know that I dealt with runner's knee in both my knees really badly 2 years ago, and like my knees were holding up great. So I felt good because I was checking all of those boxes. I'm like, all right, these are the boxes I need checked, and they're checked. Like I feel good about that. So I think that was what made me more pissed off at my finish time because of all that. Like I can't just like blame it on like, oh, my calf didn't feel good, or like, oh, the knees were hurting. It's like, no, none of that. They were fine. So yeah, we did a lot of walking in the days leading up to it. I've done that for so many other races though, and that should have, in theory, not held my legs back a little bit. I don't know. And I was hydrating like my life depended on it. I had no stomach cramps. Stomach was great. I was hydrated, and I think even like maybe even waterlogged with taking electrolytes. Like I had electrolytes Friday, I had electrolytes Saturday morning, and I had electrolytes at dinner on Saturday night too. I had salt pills. I took salt pill before the race. I took a salt pill every 3 miles, also with my Huma Plus gels, which have additional sodium in them. It's just like, how much salt do we need? Like, am I just a psycho person and I need to take like 3 salt pills at a time? Like, do I need 1,200 milligrams of sodium per hour? Because that's crazy. That's a lot. I feel like 1,000 is like already kind of a lot per hour, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not taking enough. Like it's hard to nail down what it was based on my symptoms. You know what I mean? All right, start of the race. Let's do it. I'm jibber-jabbering so long. Okay, sorry. Start of the race. It was really difficult to tell what pace I was running. Like going into it, I knew Chicago is famous for throwing off your GPS because there's all those skyscrapers and you go under these tunnels. Your Garmin doesn't know where you are. Like, the GPS is not going to be GPSing. So you really have to go on feel. I knew that going into the race, but knowing it and executing it are two different things. So I had tried on training runs to kind of, when I had workouts scheduled, I tried to kind of go off feel and train myself like, hey, this is what it's going to be like on race day. You're going to have to just go off feel. Like, does this feel like my pace? So my pace range was aiming to be between like 9:30 and like 9:55-ish per mile to kind of start off conservative and then bring myself a little bit faster in pace to be closer to that 9:30, or if I was feeling good, like, go faster. Yeah. I targeted that range for the first couple of miles, and I think my first mile I was like on target. I think I got like a 9:50 or 55, something along those lines. It was really hard to tell. I should have been manually lapping in addition to the auto lapping on my Garmin, which everyone says to turn off. I didn't want to turn it off, and I still wanted that data. However, mile 2, my GPS was so thrown off that it thought that I had reached mile 2 already after 7 minutes. So it said I ran a 7:21 mile 2, as in 7 minutes per mile. I did not run a 7-minute mile. I don't even think I can run a 7-minute mile. And then it was thrown off. So then my Garmin was messed up for the rest of the race. And that, I think, mentally already was throwing me off as well, even though I was looking at the elapsed time, every mile marker, to get an accurate sense of where I was at, which I recommend everyone doing. And I had my pace markers on my phone wallpaper in case I wanted to like look and check. But I think like that already kind of screwed with my head a little bit because I just couldn't tell how fast I was going. And I don't know, like I could feel I was trying to get there, and it was just tough. Like that was just an added challenge versus just going for the pace and just like hitting it and like knowing that you're there. So I think, yeah, that was harder than I thought it was going to be honest. My official 5K split was 30-30, so 30 minutes and 30 seconds, which averaging like a 9:49. So I was pretty much on target, and I was a little bit slow actually for reaching that 4:15 time. So that also kind of threw me off. I was like, oh, I'm already behind. Perfect. And I think I needed to be at 28 minutes probably at that point to get there. So I was like 2 minutes behind. And in my head, I'm just like, crap. And yeah, I was just at war with my brain at this time. But took the Humagel, took the salt pill right before mile 3, and Alex was spectating, and she was an amazing spectator. My goodness. She knows Chicago really well, and she was at mile 3, mile 13, and then mile almost 26, just before the mile 26 hill. And she did so great, and I really tried to look forward to running into her and knowing where she was, and it helped distract me, looking in the crowd to be okay, where's Alex, where's Alex, where's Alex, where's Alex, and just kind of helped me pass the time a little bit. And she also, big shout out to Alex, she checked into my Southwest flight for me because it was while I was running. I think our flight was at 11 a.m. the next day, and I was absolutely in the middle of the marathon at that point. She checked into my Southwest flight for me because she's a real one. So kudos to her for that. But saw her the first at mile 3, and I kept going, and I was just already the miles were feeling so long. It felt like each mile was just an hour away. I was like, where's the next mile marker? It's been 5 miles. And it hasn't even been 1. I was struggling from the beginning in this race. I had walked. So mind you, okay, so my strategy was to run and not use intervals, but I was planning to stop at water stops and Gatorade stops and walk those. And that strategy has worked really well for me for the marathon I ran in January and for the half marathons I ran in December and November. So I knew kind of how that would feel. However, I had skipped the first couple of water stops because I had ran with my handheld water bottle that I had intended to drop and toss at some point because I just wanted to skip the first couple because I anticipated those to be the most crowded and the most like difficult ones to stop at, and they were pretty frequent, so they were kind of earlier than I even really needed, so I felt okay about that. But I would stop and I would kind of feel myself just kind of like falling back a little bit, so I would do like some surges and to try and pick up the pace and like kind of regroup and like catch my pace that I was trying to keep. I did find a much older woman, and when I tell you, like, I'm not gonna try guessing her age, but I could tell that she was clearly like much older, and she was slaying. She was like on that like 9:15 pace probably, which was like maybe even 9 minutes. She was like running a little bit faster than I probably needed, but I latched onto her metaphorically and visually. I was like, hold on to Granny, stay with her, she's slaying. So I saw her, I stopped for a water stop, I lost her for a little bit, but then I found her again, and I was like, thank goodness, all right, Granny, keep with her. And I did stay with her for like maybe 2 miles. I don't even know if it was that much, but she was helping me. She was rubber banding me. I like lassoed onto her. She was pulling me. Thank goodness. But my 10K split was an hour and 13 seconds. So I was like kind of getting back on track a little, but I was already fighting for this. I took another Huma Plus gel and a salt pill at mile 6. And I tried to like zone out and like find a rhythm. The sun is beating down on us at this point. We were running away from it for part of it, but it was like beating down on our backs. Like there was literally no shade, not a single cloud in the sky. And yeah, that was already not feeling great. I train in Florida. I run in summer heat. I did marathon pace workouts in July in Orlando. Like, it didn't help me at all. It wasn't even that hot, but like something about the sun and the heat and like racing conditions and like when you're running race pace, it's hard to push through. It's hard. I had taken, I think, my other gels like every 3 miles. So I had probably taken a gel at mile 9, and then I took one at mile 12. And I, at this point, was like fading to black. Like I was starting to see stars. I was starting to feel a little, woo, I might hit the pavement any second. So I knew that I needed to slow down a little bit. So I did slow down, and that's when I started trending downward, if you were tracking me. And in my official like split breakdown, you're like, oh, there she goes. It's like, what was it? My 20K split, the average minute per mile was 10:25. So we were starting to drop down the halfway mark. Oh, she's at 12:07 now. Oh, okay. So she's going down. Yeah, my half split was 2:10:35, which was pretty good. Like I held on and ran an all right half positive split, which is not what we want, but my half marathon PR is 2:05:30. So I mean, it's not terrible. And once I hit that halfway mark, I turned on intervals and I was like, oh, okay, so I think we're in survival mode. Like I kept bargaining with myself. I was like, okay, stay on pace. Like you can try and get your 4:15 still. Oh, maybe if we keep the pace that we have now, then we can still get the PR. Okay, it's fine. Oh, maybe if I turn on intervals, I won't DNF out of this race right now. So I just kept like bringing it down a notch for myself because that's just what it turned into. I turned on 2 minutes run, 30-second walk, and I ended up walking so much. And like, I didn't know what I needed. Like I was so full, like my stomach felt full of water. Like I just felt waterlogged. But like I had been grabbing Gatorades. I had been drinking, I'd taking the salt pills. My gels have extra salt in them. Like I just couldn't understand. Like I was chugging Gatorade and trying to level things out and try and fix things. But it was too far gone at that point. I did not feel good. And I couldn't stomach any more gels just because with how like full of water I felt. And I literally stopped taking them. I did not take another gel And obviously that's not what you want to do halfway through a marathon. It just got harder and harder, and I kept walking. Like the walk breaks became longer and more frequent, and I would try and talk myself into like, all right, come on, let's run. But yeah, Dean ran into me, and we did a couple intervals together. We were both struggling, and you know, it gave me a little bit of a boost to have that community aspect of like, hey, I'm not the only one struggling right now. So tried to push through, and the grates on the Chicago bridges are enemy number one. Like, they had carpet on part of the grates, but only off to like one side, and it was like really small. And running on those grates was like life threatening. I thought I was gonna like break my ankle, and I have really stable ankles. Okay, I was a dancer for 10 years, ballet point. I did the whole thing. I have strong feet and ankles. I thought I was gonna die running on these grates. They had like little bars, like skinny bars that were connecting it, so I tried to find those to help give some stability. But my gosh, I thought I was gonna die on those grates. That was scary. Because you don't want to like zig all the way over just to get on the carpet. Because at that point I was already, like, my mileage was messed up, and I finished the race over 27 miles. And I blame that on my mile 2 GPS being messed up. Remember that 7-minute mile that I didn't run? Yeah. I think that screwed everything up. But even still, like, I was already getting a lot of extra mileage that I didn't need or want. So at some point between mile 16 and mile 20, I really don't know where I was at this point, because after the halfway point, I didn't look at my watch once. I didn't want to see it. I was ready to just toss her off. I quit. But at some point in that general vicinity of the race, some of the spectators had cups of soda and like Coke and Pepsi and bags of Lay's, like chips, and so I saw that, and I pulled over so fast. I grabbed the Coke, I grabbed the chips, and I was like, this is mine now. And they were my emotional support, soda and chips, as I was walking and feeling sorry for myself. That went down like water. That went down great, because nothing was sounding good. Because like, spectators were awesome. The crowd support was insane. People were like ready to pour shots. People had snacks and candy and like food and beer, and like we're just handing out everything. But like, it got to a point where I was like, well, I should probably just like try and have fun with this race now. I'm not getting a PR. I'm not getting like a goal time. I'm just trying to finish. But I was so down bad that like I was in that bad of survival mode that like if I like stop, I think I will just stop in DNF and like did not finish and like won't finish this race. So I had to like really push through and keep going. And at that point I was like, if I have a sip of alcohol, I think that might make things worse, because I was already like fading to black and like not mentally there. So yeah. But the Coke and the chips went down great. That saved my life and got me through the rest of the race, truthfully. So shout out to those spectators. Spectators save lives. It was such like a weird catch-22, because I honestly felt worse walking. Like mentally I felt worse walking, but like I didn't feel fit enough to keep running. Like I actually felt like my fitness just like wasn't there. And that's kind of crazy, because like I did pretty well with training, even given the fact that I had to take some time off for my calf, some time off for sickness. I still got in training miles, but like it just wasn't enough that I needed. And like all those runs that I chose to skip, like I felt it. That was probably top 3 worst race experiences that I've had, just because of my own mental and physical struggles. Bonking so early, which I've done before. This isn't the first time. Doesn't mean it doesn't suck any less just because it's happened before. I would still love to get to the bottom of that. I really want to do like a sweat test or like something to like figure out, am I just really needing more sodium? Like that much more sodium? Is it that serious? Like what's going on in there? But if you have seen the Hunger Games, and I think it's in the third one, where Katniss Everdeen is in District 13, and she's like in fetal position, like rocking back and forth. She's like, my name is Katniss Everdeen, like I'm in District 13, I'm from District 12, or like whatever she says. That was me in the race. I'm like, I am Annika. I am running the Chicago Marathon right now. I'm running the race right now. I'm running right now. I'm in the marathon. And I am Annika. I am in the, like, it was that bad. It was that bad. Okay? My official finish time was 5:12:06. Yeah. It's my second fastest marathon. It's not that I'm embarrassed of the time. It's that I know I was capable of more than that. I know I had put in training for more than that. I know that I had put in more sacrifices for a better time. Granted, my whole life doesn't revolve around a marathon finish time, and like that's not the end all be all of this entire experience, but it's disappointing for sure. Like, I am 100% disappointed. And even with the setbacks, I have to keep reminding myself, hello, you were injured. Hello, you were sick. Hello, it was warm. Hello, it just happens. It just happens. People have off days. I had an off day for sure. And I don't know. I'm just mad. It like doesn't represent where I think I'm at in my fitness. And that's like what pisses me off about it. I don't think anyone should ever be ashamed of a marathon finish time. Say that one more time. A marathon finish time, I don't think is anything to be ashamed of. I'm just, pissed off at my performance. That's really what it is. I just don't know what I needed. And that's what pisses me off too. Like, I want to get to the bottom of this. Like, what is the why? Why did that happen? And so, yeah, I'm bummed. But my body actually did bounce back pretty quickly, and my lifetime miles really showed at that point. My quads were extremely sore from the hills in Chicago on this flat course. I don't know that I would say it's that flat, but I'm a Floridian. What do I know? I consider sidewalk ramps incline. So, yeah, they're really evil about the last, 400 meters being a hill on mile 26. Which, by the way, this was just, such a bad freaking race for me. I put my phone in my pocket. Mind you, I got the smaller iPhone. I upgraded and I sized down. So I used to have the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and then I upgraded and downsized to the iPhone 17 Pro, not the Max. She got a smaller phone. And I had put it in my pocket on my shorts. I was running up this hill. My phone flies out of the pocket. Flies. Jumps onto the road. My pop wallet on the back pops off. Splits out over here. Sprawled across the race course. There's runners running behind me. I was like, ah! And, ran back to pick up the phone. Had to find the pop wallet. Put the pop wallet back on. And then I was, so done and pissed off at this point. And it, literally was the turn to the finish now. And so I'm like, all right, let's just get this done and over with. I am so done. I'm so done. Yeah, marathons are hard. Why do I do them? For the last 2 marathons, I was like, oh, I'm literally already signed up for another marathon. Huh. Because I'm signed up for Dopey in January again. And then in this past January when I ran Dopey, I was like, oh, I'm already signed up for Chicago. Awesome. Why do I do this? And then 5 minutes later, after I have my medal in my hand, I'm like, I love running. That was such a special experience. I love my friends. I love marathons. Yeah, so it's just a cycle. It's a sickness, really. It's a sickness. But anyways, I am a standalone world marathoner, and I PR'd in stars. So I have 1 star now. Yay! I'm definitely trying to not be a brat, and I finished a marathon. I'm still really proud of myself. I showed up for myself, and I fought to the death for myself, okay? I was struggling, but I had so many people show up to support me, send me messages. Everyone who has donated for my fundraising, everyone who listens to this podcast, you who are listening right now, are showing so much support, and I am feeling so grateful and appreciative that I even have opportunities to do this. Like, that is the thing that I kept repeating to myself is I get to do this. I get to be here. Let's say that again. I get to do this. I get to be here. And you know what? I learned a lot. I did learn a lot. So, pros and cons of this course and maybe applicable to other world majors. Pros were frequent timing mats. They had a lot of timing mats, which was good. And I think the tracking was really good. My mom, who was watching, said it was good. And Alex, who was tracking me and like trying to find me on the course, said it was good. Spectator support, outrageous, so good. Cons, cups. Oh my god. The cups. They were paper cups, which allegedly I heard were better than the ones, like the silicone reusable ones that they had in the Berlin Marathon. Maybe they had them here too, but maybe they ran out or something, because they were definitely paper cups by the time I was running through. And it was just like you were swimming through a sea of cups and stomping and tripping over cups. I feel like I'm not even exaggerating when I say I swimming through the cups, because this was something I also wasn't used to, because with runDisney, again, that's my only marathon experience at this point going into this race, was like people generally toss trash off to the side, usually. But during this race, I saw people just drop things where they are. Like, there was no attempt even to like throw trash off to the side. And that was new. And mind you, there were like probably at least like 30,000 runners who were ahead of me, you know, in the earlier corrals. And so all of those people had been running through and dropping their cups and whatever. And even if they were off to the side, like they kind of just like fall into the road. And the volunteers were amazing. There were people out there like trying to rake them up in between like spurts of runners. But, you know, there's only so much you can do when people are still actively running the race. But you could see like there was a layer of like all the dirty, gross, brown, smushed, like shredded, like soaked used cups on the bottom. And then there was another level of like the bent, cracked used ones. And then there was another level on top of that of like open cups that hadn't been smushed yet. And then another level of that with people dropping them in front of you. So then they like would kind of just fall and then like hit your foot. And then you would go through spurts of sticky from like Gatorade and like gels and stuff to then very slippery, like so slippery that like I was scared. And again, I consider myself to be very strong in my footing and I have strong ankles, and I don't know, I was scared. I was really scared. And then it would be tripping over the cups, and then it would repeat. So sticky, slippery, trip. And that was way more aggressive than I would have ever anticipated it to be. Which, like, with that many people, it makes sense. 1 + 1 = 2. Yeah. But, like, again, experiencing it, a whole different thing. My next 2 cons were things I already talked about. The grates and then the GPS. I mean, they could cover more of the grates with carpet. They could do that. I don't really know what we could do about GPS with that many people and all the buildings. I really don't know what the solution is to that, but I would love if there was one. Oh, that was my in-depth race recap. If you've stuck around this long, thank you so much for tuning in. I just love to yap about it. If you are someone who is going to be running the Chicago Marathon or ran the Chicago Marathon yourself this past weekend, congratulations. And or I hope I didn't talk it down too much for those who haven't done it yet. It wasn't the race's fault for my experience. Sure, I wish it went better, but I mean, that's a me thing. So yeah, thank you so much to Team Salute for being an amazing charity to fundraise for. And thank you so much to all of my friends who have supported me and sent me such good messages. And my friend Jenna even sent like a virtual like notification in the app, which I didn't even know you could do that. Like I probably could have like researched certain things a little bit more, and that's totally on me. That's on me. But yeah, I think the second I crossed the finish line, my mom called me. Like, literally, I'd taken like 2 steps and like had just grabbed my medal, and she already called me and was like, wow. So that was really cute. Yeah, I am super grateful, and I hope this doesn't come off super whiny, even though there are whiny portions. But honestly, I'm just a girl. Like, we're allowed to whine a little bit, okay? Okay? So what's next? We've got dopey training, fam. We have dopey training. It is wackadoodle time. So marathon weekend is coming up in January, and I have taken a full 7 days off of running after the Chicago Marathon, and we'll continue to take a couple more days off. However, I'm running the Wine and Dine half marathon this weekend, so the game doesn't stop. But yeah, I would only be doing this for my besties Amanda and Julian, who are coming in to do their coast to coast. I completed my coast to coast in Disneyland, and they also are in Disneyland. And then they're going to come over here, because they live in California, to get their coast to coast. So it's super exciting, and it's going to be their first time doing Wine and Dine and doing the after party. So it will be really fun, and I'm excited to just like party pace with them and have that like Run Disney experience that I was honestly missing in Chicago. I was like, wait, there's no fireworks, there's no characters, I'm starting when the sun is up. This is so weird. People are just dropping their cup at my feet. That's so interesting. After Wine and Dine, it's again getting back into dopey training. However, I think I really want to, I mean, depending on how I'm feeling, I think it's going to be a little bit of a game time decision potentially, but I really want to do a winter half marathon to try and go for a half marathon PR, because I'm hungry for PR. I'm hungry, okay? After not performing how I would have liked in Chicago, I think that probably would have satiated it a little bit more, but I'm hungry. It's so addictive. It's the sickness, I'm telling you. Okay, final section, by the numbers. We've got our countdown. So Wine and Dine half marathon, that is 6 days away. We've got Dopey in January. That is 2 months and 14 days away. We've got the Princess Weekend in February. That is 4 months away. My gosh, time is flying. Next episode will absolutely be a Wine and Dine recap. Eep! I'm so excited. I love Run Disney weekends, and I love running. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.